Hey everybody, it's Nathan from Nathan Reads the Bible. I wanted to do a podcast about how doing this podcast has changed my life, because it really has. And I don't know really how many different, what you would call, episodes into it. There's a lot of videos up, but I don't count my shorts as videos, and I don't really know. It seems like I've put out a lot of content since I started. It's only been a couple months, but that seems to be the name of the game. Put more content out as much as you possibly can, pretty much. Well, don't put out, and I'll probably be accused of this at some point, of putting out slop. But that is in the eye of the beholder. But if you're knowingly just putting out slop, like pure slop, don't do that. Have some passion. Find something that you want to do. If Christianity is not something that you're passionate about, then that is something that you should definitely not come into this realm, because it takes having a passion for whatever you want to think and talk about on a podcast. So for me, that helped with my ability to start up the podcast. Was I really felt a calling to read the Bible, and I wanted to make a podcast, and I thought it would be interesting to read the Bible for the people that wanted to hear it being read, and it all came together. Named it Nathan Reads the Bible. The rest is history. One of the things that is a huge plus about, for me, being a Christian podcaster is that this has helped my walk with God tremendously. It has caused me to live my life on more of a schedule than I was previously, because I have to be up earlier than I need to do things to get my podcast done, get my subject matter in order, do research, do whatever. So that means waking up pretty early in the morning sometimes, and that's cool actually, because it means you see a lot of cool sunrises. And sunrises are a special kind of motivation. Like, it's something that about watching the sun come up in the morning and thinking about God that goes together like bread and butter. So that was something that I definitely wanted to talk about. Finding topics and reading about them has brought me closer to God and has helped my relationship tremendously. Doing this also causes you to have to use your faith muscle. You have to have faith that somebody will find you somewhat interesting. I don't know why anybody finds me interesting in any way, shape, or form, but a few people do, and I think it's pretty awesome, and I love them all. Thank you all at 76 subscribers and counting. I love you all. It's the most amazing thing in the world when I see that count go up. It is truly, that's actually something I wanted to talk about as what could be a pro or a con for people. It is you cannot lie about the fact that when you start to see views happen and you start to see your content start to catch an audience, there is an endorphin rush involved in it. It happens. And you start to get used to a normal daily injection of your content either getting enjoyed and viewed or not viewed. And it can be a pretty big downer or it can be a pretty big upper. So, something to be wary of. The other thing to be wary of, comments. That is something that could make your life either traumatic or it's something you can learn to brush off. Being that I have been through quite a bit in the course of my life, dealing with trolls and people who don't really want to here's what you have to make sure you understand about dealing with the comment section. There are some people who genuinely want to talk to you. They want to learn things. They want to learn about you. They want to become your friend. They are good people and they care about the message that you're bringing, and it is important that you know what is going on in your comment section. You need to pay attention to those notifications, because sometimes you have to do a little trimming of the hedges in the comment section, because there are people who will not respect boundaries. There are people who do not respect either your boundaries or the boundaries of other people or the boundaries that are set by the platform. So you need to get in there and make sure that the people who are genuinely there for a good experience are getting one. And they aren't subject to any kind of trollery. I'll go ahead and just call it that. All right, that's all that needs to be spoke of about that. One of the other beautiful things about doing this is you do get to meet all those new people that you will meet in your comment section. And hopefully, if this becomes a bigger thing, I would like to start doing interviews and meet people and get their ideas on what some of these verses mean, what some of these questions that I have about the Bible. And I hope to bring that to the table in the very near future. That is that. Meeting new people is a great thing, especially in a world where we are very disconnected, it seems, anymore. It is nice to have contact, period, end of story, and especially something about contact with strangers that believe in the same things as you is an amazing feeling. So that is great. Two last really cool things that for me have been, as I spoke about earlier, my knowledge of Christianity in all kinds of different forms and denominations, what different people believe, all that kind of stuff. My knowledge of that has grown exponentially, and it has to be a decent Christian podcaster. You have to know what the different belief systems are out there, and I think you should understand them of the other major religions in the world as well. Shouldn't have to be a prerequisite for the job, but you should know what the other side is teaching, in my opinion, or you will have no idea how to talk with people who end up in your comment section that may be from other religions that have things to say. So you need to grow your knowledge on that, and growing my knowledge is something that I love. So, for me, taking on this as an extra bit and part of my life has been an amazing experience. It has been a great growing experience, both for my ability to talk publicly, to think thoughts clearly and say them in a professional manner across a wide spectrum of different people's earlobes or ear holes, whatever that is. It is great. And there are so many good skills that you can gain from starting a podcast. What you need is the call. What I would say that you definitely need a call from something deeper needs to be calling you than maybe this could end up being a paycheck one day, because there's a good possibility that you may never make a cent from doing this, and that's the bad news. You could have a podcast that gets all kinds of views and it could not make the YouTube rules. There's a ton of ways that you could end up not making money off this. So if money is the goal, that should be probably something that lets you know maybe you should look into some other kind of niche. Not to say that you couldn't end up being the next Bryce Crawford. I guess the charisma that he, whatever it is that people love about the kid, who knows who's going to be the next one of those. So you never know. But most people and most creators have a long slog of putting out content, and it's usually several years before something starts to break. That's just like me saying I'm way too much. Something that's not going to get me looked at as much as somebody who doesn't. I had to do that. Anyways, that's the podcast. It is an amazing responsibility that I take very seriously to put out this podcast, and I want everybody that subscribes to know that I see you all. I see you sign up for what I put out, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I have love for all of you. And anytime you need to ask me anything, hit me in the comments. I will be around. I will always probably respond within 24 hours. All right? Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. I hope you have a blessed day. I hope you have safe travels, safe everything, and be a little dangerous for Jesus when you need to be, because you never know when you might need to be just a little dangerous. And by being a little dangerous, I mean when you see somebody that might need it, say Jesus loves you. All right? Because sometimes there's people that need to know somebody loves them out there. That's all I got. Be blessed.